Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. Tonight is our regularly scheduled um, Monday night step study, um, and we are currently on step 2. I'm trying to see. Okay, it looks like my eye is black, but it's really not. It's just a shadow. Okay, so tonight we're on step 2. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. I have to leave my phone on, you guys, because I'm waiting on some phone calls for my job, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody that's calling. So if you hear my phone going off on the to the side, it's just because I got to leave it on for my work. So welcome, everybody. Come on in, greet your neighbor, welcome your friends, welcome the newcomer. Drop your sobriety date down in the comment section so that way we can give hope to the still sick and suffering. Last week we did step 1. Step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over drugs or alcohol or both, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay. And last week we talked about how powerlessness does not mean that you're powerless while you're sober. It means that you're powerless when you're taking drugs and alcohol into your body. And so a lot of you guys had said that you never had the step broken down to you like that. And so I feel like we really learned a lot together, and it made me want to even do this even more. So if you missed last week's step 1 step study, you can check it out, and I'm going to make a playlist, and it'll have all the step studies in it. So it'll just be labeled step study and you can find it. So tonight like I said, we're on step 2. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with what step 2 is, step 2 is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So what I'm reading out of is I'm reading out of the Narcotics Anonymous basic text, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go. And welcome everybody that's here. I'm so glad you guys are here. Don't think I'm ignoring y'all or anything. I'm just getting right into it. The second step is necessary if we expect to achieve ongoing recovery. The first step leaves us with a need to believe in something that can help us with our powerlessness, uselessness, and helplessness. So it says right here that step 2 is necessary if we want to achieve recovery. Okay. And in this step, we're seeking a power greater than ourselves. Some of you are probably going, what in the world is a power greater than me? Well, what is a power greater than you? Okay. For me, my power that was greater than me when I first got into the program was my sponsor and the AA group I went to. Because at that time, I wasn't connected with my higher power, God. I had totally disconnected from him, and I blocked him out. So at that time, it was really hard for me to say that I believed in a power greater than me, as in like a God or Jesus or whatever that heavenly being is, right? And so I put my trust and my faith in the group, in my sponsor family, in the AA family, and all the girls that I hang out with that I knew that were sober and had been sober longer than me. And they told me that if I just believed that they believed in me, that I could get sober and I could stay sober. And that's all I needed, was just a little mustard seed of faith that I could be restored, that that my mind could be healed, and that I wasn't going to have to wake up every single day searching for dope, fiending out, and living a miserable life, living a miserable life. The first step has left a vacuum in our lives. We need to find something to fill that void. This is the purpose of the second step. So basically, the first step sucks everything out of us, right? We have just admitted complete defeat in the first step. We have officially surrendered. We're waving the white flag. Drugs and alcohol have kicked our asses, and we can't take it anymore. We are admitting without a shadow of a doubt that we are powerless over those drugs and over that alcohol when we put that shit in our body, and we need help to get better. Okay. So we just got totally cleaned, right? Think of it as like, let's say, kind of like the cleaning I did upstairs with my son's room. When I went into the room, it was a complete mess. There was clutter everywhere. The whole room was in shambles, right? The room was powerless. Okay. I had no order. It was chaos. It was unmanageable. But I called my mom and I said, Mom, come over and help me get this straightened up. Come over and help me get this room together. And I put just a little bit of faith that my mom and me could do that, and that she believed in me and I believed in her, that we could get that room tip top shape. And we worked together and we got that room cleaned out. Okay. So it was completely cleaned out, vacuumed, clean, a new fresh start. And so that's kind of like where we're at right now after we do the step one, is that we are empty and we are a vessel to be taught and to learn and to be filled. Okay. So let's keep going. Some of us didn't take this step seriously at first. We passed over it with a minimum of concern, only to find the next steps would not work until we worked step two. So, one of the things about the 12 steps are you cannot skip any of the steps. Hold on, you guys. Everybody get acquainted with each other. Hello. Yes, this is me. Hey, I just talked to Dr. McKinney. step? Are you going to start where everybody relapses? Well, tell me this. Okay, so your insurance is paying for that right now, correct? Okay, this is what you need to do, so that way I can find out if I really did have to pay it. I might not have to. This is my cell phone number. Take a picture of the front and back of your insurance card and your date of birth, your full name, last and first name. Send that to me. Let me send it for verification, and I'll call you right back and let you know if you have to pay it. Okay? And then we'll go from there. How's that sound? Okay, then. I'll talk to you in a minute. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm a working woman. Sorry about that. Okay, that was my job, so I had to take the phone call. Okay, so let's get back on track. Step 2. Oh, sorry about that. So some of us didn't take this step seriously at first. We passed over it with a minimum of concern, only to find the next steps would not work until we worked step 2. Okay, so this is what I was going to say. The thing about the 12 steps is you have to work them in order. You can't go, oh, that step looks easy. I'll take step 1, then I'll say step 5, and then let's try to do step 12. Or you can't say, oh, guess what? I'm going to do 12 first and then go backwards. And when I first got into recovery, you guys, I was hanging out with a bunch of people that were early in their sobriety also. And I remember like sponsors and our counselors telling us, like, you can't pick and choose the steps that you want to work, guys. You have to do it in order. So that's how it works. Each step that you work, the next one is going to have something to do with that. The next one is going to have to do with that. And it's going to add to it as you go. Okay. Even when we admitted that we needed help with our drug problem, many of us would not admit to the need for faith and sanity. We have a disease, progressive, incurable, and fatal. Okay, let me read that to y'all again. We have a disease, progressive, incurable, and fatal. That means it gets worse over time, there's no cure for it, and it can kill you. One way or another, we went out and bought our destruction on the time payment plan. All of us, from the junkie snatching purses to the sweet little old lady hitting 2 or 3 doctors for legal prescriptions, have one thing in common. We seek our destruction a bag at a time, a few pills at a time, or a bottle at a time until we die. This is at least part of the insanity of addiction. The price may seem higher for the addict who prostitutes for a fix than it is for the addict who merely lies to a doctor. Ultimately, both pay for their disease with their lives. Insanity is repeating the same mistakes and expecting different results. Okay. So you hear how they tell us, you guys, like, I know for a lot of us, like, people can get caught up in like comparing like our addictions, like whose addiction was the worst. Oh, well, if I didn't prostitute, then my addiction wasn't that bad. Or if I didn't if I didn't steal, it wasn't that bad. Either way, like, no matter what active addiction, you're slowly committing suicide. You're slowly killing yourself. Many of us realize when we get to the program that we have gone back time and again to using, even though we knew that we were destroying our lives. Insanity is using drugs day after day, knowing that only physical and mental destruction comes when we use. The most obvious insanity of the disease of addiction is the obsession to use drugs. How many of you guys you're not experiencing that obsession anymore? For me, I worked the 12 steps with my sponsor a couple times, and I've been really diligent praying and meditating. And I'll have to tell you guys, like that obsession to use has been lifted. Do I get a little hair, do I get a little wild hair up my ass sometimes where I have a thought that comes in and triggers? Yeah, that's normal. But that obsession, that like, I've got to have it, I've got to get it, I've got to find it, I'll do anything to get it. I don't have that anymore. And I'm so grateful, you guys, because I remember when I couldn't go one day without getting high. The obsession to use was so strong that there was no way I wasn't using. There was no way. Insanity is using drugs day after day, knowing that only physical and mental destruction comes when we use. So we know that we know that our lives are going to go down the shitter. We know that everything is going to fall apart, but we use drugs anyway. And some people will say, well, that's because you're choosing it. You're choosing it. When you're an addict, you lose the power of choice. And we're probably going to talk about that. So let's go. The most obvious insanity of the disease of addiction is the obsession to use drugs. Ask yourself this question: do I believe it would be insane to walk up to someone and say, "May I please have a heart attack or a fatal car accident?" If you can agree that this would be an insane thing, you should have no problem with the second step. In this program, the first thing we do is stop using drugs. At this point, we begin to feel the pain of living without drugs or anything to replace them. The pain forces us to seek a power greater than ourselves that can relieve our obsession to use. The process of coming to believe is similar for most addicts. Most of us lacked a working relationship with a higher power. We begin to develop this relationship by simply admitting to the possibility of a power greater than ourselves. Most of us have no trouble admitting that addiction had become a destructive force in our lives. Our best efforts resulted in ever greater destruction and despair. At some point, we realized that we needed the help of some power greater than our addiction. Our understanding of a higher power is up to us. So right there, you guys, whatever your understanding of a power greater than you is, that's what it is. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to believe what Merck believes or OG Scotty believes or Mary believes. Whatever your higher power is your higher power, okay? No one is going to decide for us. We can call it the group, we can call it the program, or we can call it God. The only suggested guidelines are that this power be loving, caring, and greater than ourselves. We don't have to be religious to accept this idea. The point is that we open our minds to believe. We may have difficulty with this, but by keeping an open mind, sooner or later, we find the help we need. We talked and listened to others. We saw other people recovering, and they told us what was working for them. We began to see evidence of some power that could not be fully explained. Confronted with this evidence, we began to accept the existence of a power greater than ourselves. We can use this power long before we understand it. As we see coincidences and miracles happening in our lives, acceptance becomes trust. We grow to feel comfortable with our higher power as a source of strength. As we learn to trust this power, we begin to overcome our fear of life. The process of coming to believe restores us to sanity. The strength to move into action comes from this belief. We need to accept this step to start on the road to recovery. When our belief has grown, we are ready for step 3. There you go. That's step 2. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about coming to believe in a power greater than yourself. So, a lot of people think that you automatically have to like believe in God and that it has to be some heavenly being right away, or it doesn't have to be that at all. All over the world, people have different ideas of what a power greater than themselves is. I have some people that believe in the universe and nature. I have some people that believe in altruism. I have some people that believe in God or Buddha or Allah. I mean, all over the world, there's people that have different beliefs. The whole point of step 2 is building your faith in something other than yourself. Because all of our lives, while we were in active addiction, what do? We depended on us. We depended on that drug. We knew that if we went and got crack cocaine and we smoked the crack cocaine, it was going to give us relief. It was going to give us the high. You know what I mean? So, what was I saying? Okay. Oh, okay. We I just totally got thrown off because I looked at somebody's comment and I didn't even know what they were saying, and I was like, reading it. Okay, so we put faith in those drugs, okay, because we knew that when we got those drugs were going to give us the results that we wanted. So when we get sober, we have no faith in anything, not even ourselves, right? And so we have to find something greater than us to look to, because all this time we've been looking to ourselves and to substances. When you're depending on a drug to change the way you feel and to relieve you from the chaos and the hatred and the depression and the anxiety of whatever you're going through, the trauma, right? So that's not a way to live, Um, it's a process, okay? And it's not anything that you have to rush. That's why when I'm telling you guys that I believed in my sponsor and I believed in the program, because I just wasn't at that point where I believed in God. And that was my choice for a higher power, but I just wasn't there yet. I had no relationship, I had no connection. It took me over a year to get to a point where I felt like I could pray and actually like pray and give my life over to my God, because I was lost, because I had walked away from my higher power because of my addiction. Um yeah. So, when we're in our active addiction, you guys, we are not all here. We're insane. We're sick. We're struggling, right? And so when we come into our sobriety, we still have that's our mind is still sick. And so we have to work through this process to heal and to learn and to grow, you know? Okay, let's see what this says over here. It says, being clean and working the step, we are released from our chains. However, none of the steps work by magic. We do not just say the words of this step, we have to learn to live them. We see for ourselves that the program has something to offer. So, working the steps doesn't mean saying, okay, I'm coming to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity. Bam, I worked the step. It takes action and more action. It takes reading and calling your sponsor and going to meetings and studying and really digging deep, right? It's an internal thing, because with our addictions, you guys, we just sat there and filled ourselves up with muck and guck and trash and BS. And so now we are just a vessel full of shit. And so when we get sober, we got to clean all that shit out. We have to learn how to live our lives in a healthy way, in a happy way, in a sober way. And it's a big change. It's not like, I think a lot of people, when you get sober and you quit using drugs, that's just the first step. Just stopping using is the easy part. The hard part is staying stopped, you know? Oh God, Hitman got sober. He's eating everything. Ah. Okay, let me see what this says. Okay, this is what I also wanted to read to you guys. So, you know how I always say that we're miracles? The fact that I'm sober today, talking with you guys and doing a meeting instead of getting high, right? That's a miracle. Okay. And so, right here is an example of a power greater than me working, right? Because I'm not getting high today. I'm sitting here sober in front of you guys. Okay. And so, every time I see someone who has gotten sober and is not, who is staying clean and doing the next right thing, I look at that person and I'm like, they're a miracle, you know? It gives me hope when I see someone else who's turned their life around because I'm like, that's a sign that I got to keep on going. And another thing is that it's so inspiring to see people come in that were high when they started out and then they get sober and then they're staying sober. It's like watching a miracle happen right in front of your eyes. Because I know how hard it is to get sober, right? You guys know how hard it is to get sober. It's not something that it was easy for us to do. We all struggled, right? So when you see someone who is achieving it, you know how hard that person is working. And we all relate to each other. We're like, damn, I know they're working hard because I remember what it was like when I was working hard. At that very beginning when you're like going and calling people and you're hanging out with people that are sober and you're trying not to go down the wrong path. But it's like that wrong path is still calling you, and every now and then it'll try to pull you over here, but then you come back over here because you're like, no, I can't do it. And man, I'm so grateful for people that have been sober longer than me that can show me the way and help me stay sober every single day. Because if it wasn't for people that have walked the road before me, man, I'm telling you what, you guys, I wouldn't know what to do. Let me read a thing to you too. I want to do a little meditation with you guys, okay? Okay, hold on. 2:15. Okay. And I'm sorry about earlier, you guys. I had to answer that phone call because it was for my work. Okay. My overwhelming desire for control becomes glaringly obvious when I'm tempted to control my group. I decide that I know what is best for all of us, or that I am the only one who truly understands the traditions, or that I know what newcomers need to hear, and I alone must make sure they hear it. I may view this as a finely developed sense of responsibility, but my attitudes and actions still amount to a form of dominance. The second tradition says, for our group purpose, there is but one authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. We strive to conduct our meetings as a fellowship of equals and to practice rotation of leadership. No single member has the right to take charge. When I insist upon having my way, I am tampering with the spiritual nature. Just as my higher power guides me in my daily life, a power greater than myself is working within my group through the voices of its members. So, I have an idea, and I want to ask you guys what you think about it. So, you know how I always lead these meetings? What I was thinking, you guys, is that on StreamYards, I can have a guest up here. And so what I was thinking is, as we get through the steps and we start just having regular speaker meetings or regular topic meetings like we do on Friday nights when we do our Mara meetings, I was thinking that if you guys want to start volunteering to be the chairperson, I can kind of just sit back and you guys can be in charge. So if you guys are interested in doing that and you want to be somebody who chairs the meetings on Monday nights, all you have to do is send me a DM to my Instagram at Real Talk Recovery, same as in my YouTube channel, and let me know that you're interested. And for the next Monday night meeting, we will plan to let someone else lead the group. Now, let me just, Steven says, can't I just make the coffee? Sure, Steven. But I'm serious. Yeah. So what I was thinking is that you guys can come up and help. That way, like if I have to do work or I'm busy at that moment, I can step away and you guys can still go to the meeting and take it. I'm really wanting to make it more interactive. I want you guys to get more out of it because listen, I've been doing this for 2 years now and I can do it with my eyes closed. But it's when you start practicing and doing it yourself, that repetition, you guys, it helps. It helps me to stay sober by repeating this all the time because I never forget. I never forget. So I want you guys to step up and start helping. Okay, Nick, message me. You don't text me. But don't you think that's a good idea? Hey, Count Spooky. Don't worry, we're talking about that on Wednesday. So, just so you guys know, Wednesday night at 7, we're going to be talking all about the coronavirus and MAT, medication assisted treatment. I've sent someone. Good Hitman. Save your gas. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday, you guys. And I have to tell you guys, I have an amazing, I guess you could say, assistant editor of Real Talk Recovery, Tony. And Tony has done all this research to help me with the coronavirus and maintenance medication and what to do if there's like a situation where we can't get our medication. And so we're going to talk all about that Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So I hope that you guys will be looking forward to that. Also, Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I have a premiere that will be uploading, and it's going to be my it's going to be the letters that I wrote to Neil while I was in treatment. So be looking out for that. You guys, I found diaries, I found letters, I found journals, and I'm reading them all to you guys. So that's going to happen Wednesday morning. I already have the video uploaded. It's just waiting to premiere. I might move it to tomorrow morning since I already have something planned for Wednesday. So scratch that. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., the premiere is going to premiere of the letter I wrote while I was in treatment. So that's going to be tomorrow morning, you guys. So when you wake up, just come on over here and it'll be up, okay? So yeah, I have so much stuff to read to you guys from when I was in my addiction and all that kind of stuff. And so I tell you guys these stories, right? I tell you guys these stories about what I was like back then and how it was. And now I really have something to share with you to show like what I was saying and all that stuff. I found a bunch of old jail letters. Those really hit you. I know that's right. If you are hospitalized with coronavirus, you need to be intubated, like 80% hospitals. Spread it out. I was just reading mine like that a few days ago. I could barely read my handwriting. Aw. I know, right? But, here's the thing, you guys. Honestly, if that happens, I don't want to even think about that happening. But if for some reason there was this like huge outbreak, right? Anyway, y'all don't get me tripping over here. Y'all know that I have high anxiety, okay? Y'all know I do. Y'all know how high strung I am. I got a oh, are you dating an RN? I got a comment on one of my videos today, you guys, and the guy he said, you've got to chill out. He said, all the hi guys and the gratitude or the thankfulness for the commenters is over. It's too much. You need to chill out. And I was like, this is me. I can't change how I am. I am grateful that there are people here watching my channel. I am grateful that you guys come to the meetings, because if y'all weren't here, I'd just be talking to the wall, you know? But it's like, I don't, respiratory therapist. Okay, gotcha. Sometimes I think, I got 15 cases. Damn, 15 cases of water. That's good. That's what I'm known for. I interact with my chat. I don't just like ignore you guys. And I guess, like, am I supposed to just ignore y'all? Am I supposed to act like y'all aren't there? I guess. I don't know. I guess it's because people come back and they watch the replay. And so when they're watching the replay and they're not involved in the live chat, maybe they feel left out. So what I'm going to go ahead and do this. Shout out to everybody watching the replay. I appreciate you. I'm so glad you're here. You're reminding me of people that get strips off the street to detox. I had a friend who didn't go to the clinic for 3 years. He bought off the street forever. What's your thoughts on that? My thoughts on people buying strips off the street, I don't think you should do it. I think that it's irresponsible. I think that it's dangerous. I think that it's still addict behavior. I think that, because here's the thing, you guys. When you're buying strips off the street, you're still coming in contact with people who are selling other drugs. And so you're putting yourself in harm's way. Okay? You're putting yourself in a bad position. Also, what happens if you can't get strips? Then you're put in a bad position and you go out and get heroin, you overdose and you die. The responsible way to do things is to go through your physician, go through a doctor. I even had this comment the other day with a guy who has a channel, and the reason a lot of people think I don't support Kratom. I have a very good friend who takes Kratom every single day of her life, and I love her. I love her so much. Avalon from Natural Addiction and Recovery. The only reason why I say anything negative about Kratom is because it can be harvested in unsanitary conditions and you can get salmonella. That's the only reason. Other than that, if that's what works for you, then please make sure that you're getting it from a good source where it's clean and it's been harvested in sanitary conditions. I finally pushed him in the clinic. He counts those first 3 years still as part of his recovery. Well, if he wasn't relapsing and he was taking those, I mean, he was being sober, so, we'll give him that. But do you understand what I'm saying? It's still a slippery slope, and you're bouncing back and forth, and it's just going to be dangerous. Yes, Stephen. But I don't want to make anybody feel like you shouldn't try something that might work for you. This is my thing. Why count spooky? I don't get like that anymore. Good, Bobby. That's good. I'm proud of you. I never used to get like that. Like, I didn't have insurance for a really long time, so I had to pay out of pocket for my medication. And even when I had to pay out of pocket, like, I go to work every day. I'm paying my bills. Like, there's no reason for me not to be able to get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So hold on, guys. Okay. Let me see this. Work. Hold on, guys. I'm really sorry. I have to do this, you guys, because it's for my job. It's an email. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm working and I'm hanging out with you guys at the same time. So, okay. So, what did you guys do? Y'all understand step two? Step two is just we're coming to believe in a power greater than ourselves. That power greater than ourselves can be anything that's greater than just me. It can be a group of people, it can be the universe, nature, it can be God, it can be AA, it can be this group right here, the Real Talk Recovery family, can be a power greater than us because I'm just one person and you guys are like 33 people. You feel me? Oh, what bothers me is recovered addicts lacked empathy for current addicts, and any discussion of legalization of drugs is met with an absolute closed mind. Well, I mean, I think that I'm not closed minded. I think that weed, a lot of people benefit from weed. And obviously, I'm not closed minded. I'm on Suboxone. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're saying. People that are abstinent, it's like they have this superior complex. They think they're superior. I think because for 15 years of opioid abuse, I got used to worrying about potentially going through withdrawal. Yeah, I understand that. You know what you need to do? Are you not doing any kind of therapy or anything? It really does help, man. I suggest it for real. I've been doing good, Luke. What about you? See, Sky says she had, and that's I know you are, girl. And here's the thing, like, please don't think that I'm telling you guys this because I'm like I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that. That's the only thing that I worry about is I have this image in my mind of them harvesting it over there in Asia or whatever it's at. And there's like all these chickens flying around and there's poop on the ground and they're like barefoot with no shoes on. And I just, y'all feel me? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Medical marijuana. So I'm super open minded, you guys. Like, I have no business being closed minded. I'm just not, I just don't get down like that. I'm very, very open minded, you guys. Because I've been there, I've been there. I've been judged by people for being on maintenance medication. And it's the worst feeling ever when you're trying to improve your life and people don't see that and they don't give you credit for that. You know what I mean? Like, I see all of us here trying to improve our lives. And so I think we all have to give each other credit because we're here on a Monday night doing a step study. When back in the day, we'd be out on a Monday night shooting dope, smoking dope, snorting dope, drinking alcohol, all that stuff, So it's a big deal, you guys. It's a big deal turning your life around and making changes for the better. And it's a big deal. Let me tell y'all a story before I leave. So you guys know my mom came over this weekend to help me with my son's room upstairs. And let me just tell you guys, I'll post pictures on my community tab. It looks so good. She came over, and for those of you guys that don't know, my 38th birthday is this Sunday. Shout out to Nicole. Her birthday is today. Shout out to Cindy Briggs. Her birthday's on the 21st. And shout out to Merck. His birthday's down there at the bottom of March, too. So we're all having birthdays this month. Everybody in the Real Talk Recovery Pisces family. So my mom came over to hang out with us, okay? And she was helping me. Hey, Breeze God. She was helping me get the room clean and everything. And she said, hey, I've got an envelope in my purse. It's for you. Go and get it. So I went into her purse and I was digging around. I was like, where's the envelope? And so she was like, let me get it. So she went and got the envelope and she brought it to me. And it was a white envelope with a card in it. So I opened the card and it was a birthday card. And there was $100 in there. And of course, you guys know me. I love money. So I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And my mom started crying. And she was like, no, thank you. we have our daughter back. And this is like my mom's been saying this a lot lately. She was like, your dad, do you not remember? Your dad would never give you cash. And I'm here to tell you guys that I've gotten cash from my mom and dad for the last 2.5, 3 years. And that's a big deal because my dad is he's a one-way kind of guy. And it took a lot for him I cried my eyes out. It took a lot for him to get to a point where for Christmas, he sent me a couple $100 so I could buy Nathaniel the best Christmas. And he knows that I'm not going to take that money and spend it on drugs. He knows that I'm not going to take that money and spend it on myself. I'm going to spend it on my son. So I almost had my mom on this weekend because I was just going to put her on the spot and make her come on here and cry with you guys. But I was like, we'll do it on another day. It's a big deal, you guys. My relationship is restored with my family. It's 100% restored. And there was a time where I couldn't go in my family's house. I wasn't allowed there because when I would go there, I would steal shit. So I'm here to tell you that if you're struggling and maybe your relationship with your family is not strong right now, keep staying sober. Keep doing the right thing. Your relationship will be restored 100%. Oh man, your liver was wrecked. That sucks. I know how you feel though. I have hepatitis C. I'm sure my liver's wrecked too. I have to get the medication for that because it's just a whole bad deal altogether. Okay. Let me let this kid know. Oh, that's awesome. Y'all are the bomb. Yes, everybody join Patreon. It's only $2 a month. Y'all can afford it. No, I'm not. I'm just playing, y'all. Y'all know that I don't want you to do anything that's going to put you in a bad position. Your sobriety and your fame. Let me put this there though. My computer is lagging, y'all. Okay. Mary, I might do oh, Merk, you beat me to it. Thanks, Merk. After I get off Suboxone, I might get on Vivitrol just because I know my husband's going to be on Suboxone. And I'm thinking that if I get off, then I might steal his Suboxone. So I might need to get on something, you know what I'm saying, to block it. You know what I mean? I've heard rumors that the Sublocade shot automatically detoxes you. You get the shot for a month or two, and then you just stop, and your levels are so low at the end of the month, you're just done. I'm not sure. You can overdose. It's very serious. Ash, you are an angel. I think I can take it from my... And listen, you guys, listen. Please, you guys, if, like, seriously, Patreon, you don't have to pay, like, $25 or anything. There really is a $2 thing. And you guys, listen to me, okay? The reason I even have tiers on my Patreon is just to let you guys choose what you want to do to support me, okay? Like Cindy Briggs, she pays $25 because she wants to support me because we're best friends and she just loves me so much and I just love her so much and that's how we do that. Okay, like Cindy Briggs is going to come to Arkansas and stay the weekend with me. I mean, we're like, she's my home girl, you know? But, and then the other girls, I'm getting to know the newer girls and we're all becoming so close, right? But don't ever feel like you have to do something that's going to put you in a bad way on your financial situation, okay? You guys take care of your families and yourself. Number one, you can always come here and get the free meetings with us on Mondays nights and on Friday nights, okay? So don't fret. It's really, honestly, you guys, Patreon is just to support me. That's all it is. And I never want anyone to feel pressured to do anything, okay? I'm not a recovery coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just sharing my experience and that's it, okay? So I just always want to be completely transparent with you guys because, you know, I know that we can come on here and when you're struggling and you see me and you're like, wow, you know, I look up to her. I'm just regular, just like you guys. Okay. I'm just human and I make mistakes. You know, I make mistakes every single day. So I'm not perfect. There's days where I fuck up and I'm in drama and I'm gossiping and I'm creating all kinds of chaos. And then there's other days where I'm a perfect little angel. No, not really. It's pretty cool, you guys, because what I can do in there is I can upload videos like private videos that nobody sees here on YouTube. So it's cool. That's awesome, Sky. That makes me so happy to hear that. I have asked this once before, but how does Lexapro help? I haven't taken an antidepressant in years. So, Kenneth, I got on Lexapro when I gave birth to my son because I had really bad postpartum depression and it saved my ass. But let me just tell you something, okay? I got on it and it stopped working. So now I'm on Wellbutrin and Lexapro. And if I could get off Lexapro, I would because I've tried to jump off of it and it makes me sick. Nightmare, love you. I think it is, Kenneth. But here's the thing with Wellbutrin, and I'm telling you this because I want you to understand. Wellbutrin, um, Wellbutrin, it has like it gives you a little bit of energy. Okay, I don't want to say it's like a stimulant, but it does give you. Hey, Avalon, it does give you a little pep in your step. So if you're struggling with lack of motivation and depression, then Wellbutrin is the shit. I mean, seriously, like I love it. I love it. It really has helped me. It's helped me to like get up and just like have energy in my life. I was struggling for so long, and I listen. I'm gonna have to make a whole video about this, but when I got up to 12 milligrams on my Suboxone, and this I love Suboxone. It saved my life, you guys. But when I got up to 12 milligrams, I lost all energy and motivation. And I don't know if that's because of the medication or if it's just in my head, but I was really struggling. So I got on Wellbutrin, and that helped me so much. It did, Sam. Yeah, some people it's just too, because listen, here's the thing. When I first started taking it, it gave me the jitters. I was like, but then after like 2 days, I was fine. And now I don't even notice it. But you guys see how hype I am. Like, I'm like this with nothing. So, I mean, a little bit of Wellbutrin don't bother me none. I used to shoot methamphetamine. You feel me? Hey, Lakeisha. Yeah, postpartum is fucked. It was bad. And then I relapsed. I was reading you guys that diary last night, and I relapsed in November, December, after I had my son. No, you wouldn't be dead. No, you wouldn't be dead. I promise you wouldn't be dead. It's not the milligrams. Honestly, the bioavailability of Suboxone after 16 milligrams, it doesn't, it's a, after about 12 to 16 milligrams, the receptors are completely saturated. So those extra milligrams that you're taking are just for psychological reasons. Like some people just think that they need to be on 20 milligrams or 24 milligrams or 32 milligrams. Honestly, I'm telling you this, you can ask Dr. B. At 12 to 16 milligrams, Suboxone has your receptors completely saturated. So there's no, that's it. That's all I can say about that. A lot of times doctors prescribe higher than that because the client or patient feels like they're going through withdrawal, or they feel like they need more, and then they do that. Or some people have higher metabolisms than other people, and they burn through the medication faster. But I think me and Dr. B talked about that in a video we did a couple months back about how 12 to 16 milligrams is the top out for the receptors in your brain. Gosh, I have something in my lip. I ate cheese pizza today. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed our little step 2 tonight. I am going to get off here, get Nate to sleep, because we got school in the morning. But you guys be on the lookout for our hey buddy, for our video in the morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and set that to premiere on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we'll have our coronavirus MAP medication video at 7. And then on Friday, we'll have our Mara meeting. Okay?
What's the coronavirus?
Oh, nothing good. You don't want to know about the coronavirus.
Is it that makes you die or something?
It could. One doctor put me on there. Yeah, Sam, they do, because yeah, that's true. I think that because when you're on it, I think that, because the baby, it might be getting some of the medication. I've heard that. But anyways, we're going to have Dr. B on soon, in about a month or so. So when we have him on, y'all save all your questions about maintenance medication, okay? Because Dr. B, he's a genius. He'll be on the channel in a couple of weeks or so, and then he can answer all the questions, okay? So that way, I can answer a lot of them, but it's better when I get to have him on because he's a doctor, okay? All right, you guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning for our premiere at 9 a.m. Okay, bye.